You probably recognize that if you're a guitar player living and breathing today. That's Stevie Ray Vaughan, and the song is called Lenny, off of Stevie Ray's first record. And I want to teach this to you today in particular because I have had immense success impressing girls with this song. So this works best for guys impressing girls rather than girls impressing guys. Girls probably won't be able to impress guys that much with this song. This is much more to melt the heart of women. For you guys who know how to do kind of heavy riffs, fast riffs, well, that's probably not the best idea when and if you are able to maybe get a woman that you like back to your home and you're kind of relaxing and maybe having some wine. It's probably not the greatest idea to sort of rip out a whole lot of love. No, this is a much better song for those purposes. And it's also a beautiful song that you'll be able to learn a few things from and take a few concepts from and maybe apply to your other stuff. There's a lot of things to learn from the way that Stevie plays this song. It's a beautiful ballad. Again, I stand by this guarantee. You will impress women with this song. You will make women feel more comfortable around you with this song, and that's the most important thing if you want to have a relationship with a woman, that they feel comfortable. So let's do this. Let's learn one of the greatest songs in the world to impress women with on the guitar. Lenny by Stevie Ray Vaughan. The initial chord of this song is very interesting. A few of you might know what's called a ninth chord, which is usually played with the root in the fifth string. Here I'll do a D ninth. It's a very funky chord. It's kind of a jazzy chord. If you take that ninth chord and you basically transpose it up a string so that the first note you hit is on the D string, and we'll go up to the first chord of Lenny for these purposes, which is actually an E chord. The form of this chord right here, however, does not have E in the root. It has a B in the root. But in any case, start by forming this chord. Second finger on the D string on the ninth fret. First finger on the G string on the 8th fret, and then third finger barring the next two strings on the 9th fret, and you get something like this, which is the opening chord of the song. But the root note of this chord is an E, so strike the low E as well. And that makes it, I think it's called a E major sixth. It's got basically a major seventh and a sixth. And those are the chords, or the notes that give the chord its real color. But it's an E chord. So you put E down on the root here, and you play this, again, this ninth form, but starting on the D string. And then you give this a little whammy bar too in Lenny. It helps to have a Stratocaster so you can get the kind of bell tones in the out-of-phase positions, but it doesn't require a Stratocaster. The whammy bar with a little tremolo does help to create the mood, so to speak. So this is the first chord. And then the notes are pretty simple. It's just... So it's a bit of a hammer-on in the second note. First you go on the high E string, 7th fret with your first finger. And then you hammer on with your third finger on the B string to the 9th fret. So it's... And then the next chord after that, you'll want to learn to do it kind of seamlessly, is an A major sixth chord again. But this time it doesn't have the major seventh. The A string first. On the first finger, you fret the D string at the 4th fret. And then I use my pinky on the G string on the 6th fret. And then the second finger on the B string on the 5th fret. So it goes like this. So it's... So that's the basic progression of the verse. Now, there are little fills in there, little riffs that Stevie plays, which are kind of these Hendrix chords, and I'm going to go over this in another lesson. I'll demonstrate it with the riffs. So what those are just little chord formations around the E chord. You know this formation of the E bar chord. You probably know that if you know Whole Lotta Love or some of the other classic rock songs. Well, what these Hendrix type chord voicings do is they basically take that same formation and they put the third in the root. So you leave this barred. Right here, it's barred with my third finger. I usually do it with my pinky. But if you bar those same notes with your first finger and put your third finger up here, now that's just an E chord, but with the third note of the E chord, an A flat in the bass. And if you do hammer-ons to this effect, then you can go up to the D string too. Keep barring this with the first, and you hammer on the different strings. So those are the kinds of notes out of which the riff is created, the fill-in riff between the two chords as you do the verse. So again... So, then there's the middle, and the middle is just the same chord form, but you're moving it up around the neck, and it's this major sixth chord form. But this time, the major sixth we last played was the A major sixth in the second chord of the verse. But to get up to the middle, you basically move this up chromatically to a B major sixth. So you go from... So it goes. And that's a new way of fingering the major sixth. It's the same chord. It's the same chord as this. But now I'm going to put my second finger in on the root note, on the 6th string here, which is a B. My first finger on the D string on the 6th fret, which is an A flat. And then my pinky on the G string on the 8th fret, which is a E flat, and my third finger on the B string on the 7th fret, which is a F sharp. So it's... And then you're going to move this up and down the neck as I instruct here. So it's from the verse, it's... Then you move it up to a D in the root, 10th fret. Then you go down to a G, same chord form, A sharp, A, and then you're back into the verse. So that is Lenny. That will impress the women. it should be a wonderful way to, if you haven't learned jazzy Hendrix-style chordal voicings, then it's a great start. If you have, then it's a great way to kind of supplement what you know. So... take those skills, that approach, and use it to create your own songs. And I will be back very soon with more lessons, with more wisdom. But this one should be a great one, not only for impressing the girls, but for, again, refining your ballad chordal skills. So that's Lenny. That's Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a great one. I hope everyone is well. Subscribe to the channel for regular lessons. Thanks. Signing off from Boston. Bye-bye.